In the ragged borderlands of planet Elta Prime, where civilization frayed into wilderness, survival wasn't measured by the strength of your weapons but by the sharpness of your instincts. Corporal Jason Ward never asked to be stationed here. He was a tech specialist, better suited to indoor assignments, not endless patrols through steaming jungles. Yet here he was, soaked in sweat, one boot half sunk in the mud, staring at a creature that defied every manual he'd ever read. The Beastwoman was massive, standing easily 7 feet tall even with her digitigrade legs bent. Her skin was a tough, leathery gray, striped with natural patterns that looked like war paint. Sharp fangs jutted from her mouth, and her golden eyes glinted with intelligence as well as primal fury. And she was stalking him. Jason's rifle was raised, but his hands trembled. He knew a warning posture when he saw one, the low growl, the coiled muscles ready to spring. He wasn't supposed to kill the local species if it could be avoided. Elta Prime's indigenous races were under a cautious protection treaty. "Easy," Jason said under his breath. "I'm not here to hurt you." The Beastwoman cocked her head, confusion flashing across her feral features. For a moment Jason thought maybe, just maybe, he could talk his way out of this. Then she lunged. Jason threw himself backward. The Beastwoman pounced, pinning him effortlessly. Her massive claws barely pricked his skin, showing terrifying control. Her muzzle hovered close to his neck, lips curled back to reveal rows of teeth. She bit him. Not a lethal bite. More of a controlled, deliberate puncture, just above his collarbone. A warm, numbing sensation spread from the wound almost instantly. Jason struggled, but her weight was overwhelming. She released him after a moment, rising to her full regal height. Panting, Jason clutched the bite mark. "What the hell was that?" he gasped. The Beastwoman let out a sound, a chuff almost like laughter, and then she reached down, grabbed Jason by the front of his armor, and slung him over her shoulder like a sack of flour. "No. I'm not, put me down." But the Beastwoman didn't listen. She carried him into the dense foliage, moving with terrifying speed. And somehow, Jason knew his life had just taken a dramatic turn. The Beastwoman's tribe, if it could be called that, was a collection of roughly built shelters hidden deep within the thickest parts of the jungle. Other beast people watched as she strode in carrying Jason, their golden eyes wide with curiosity, and something else. Weariness. When she dropped him onto a bed of mossy leaves, several of them growled low in their throats. Jason sat up slowly, every nerve screaming at him to run, but his body felt different. The bite's numbing sensation had faded, replaced by a strange warm throbbing in his veins. The Beastwoman crouched beside him, placing a large clawed hand firmly on his chest as if to say, "Stay." From the edge of the gathering, an older beast man approached, gray-muzzled, heavily scarred. He and Jason locked eyes, and Jason realized with a sick twist of fear that there was no way this was going to be a diplomatic situation. The elder barked something in their language. The Beastwoman growled a reply, possessively touching Jason's chest. The other beast people murmured among themselves. Jason caught a few words from his translation implant. Marking. Bond. Exclusive. Uno. Somehow, by biting him, the Beastwoman had claimed him. Permanently. When the elder barked again, the Beastwoman responded by flashing her teeth and snarling in unmistakable warning. The elder backed off. The tribe dispersed, throwing Jason wary glances as they left. Some looked almost pitying. Jason slumped back onto the moss, heart hammering. "What the hell am I supposed to do now?" he muttered. The Beastwoman sat beside him, tail curling possessively around his leg. Jason didn't understand a word she said, but her tone was oddly gentle now. Soothing almost. She nuzzled his shoulder where she had bitten him, inspecting the wound with what seemed like satisfaction. Jason sighed. Guess I'm yours now, huh? The Beastwoman purred deep in her chest. It was going to be a long deployment. Days turned into weeks. Jason adjusted, awkwardly, to life among the beast people. His mate, as the others clearly recognized her, never let him wander far. Any time he strayed, she would be at his side in seconds, her expression brooking no argument. She taught him basic survival skills. How to track prey, how to recognize the edible plants, how to build shelters that could withstand the nightly monsoon-like rains. In turn, Jason shared what little he could, constructing better spears, improving their fire-starting techniques, showing them how to refine sap into a primitive adhesive. It wasn't exactly the assignment he had trained for, but strangely, he didn't mind. The biggest problem wasn't survival. It was the tension. Not just between him and his Beastwoman, who, he learned, was called Raka, but between him and the others. Especially the other females. Whenever another Beastwoman got too close, whether offering food or simply talking, Raka's reaction was immediate and violent. Low growls. Flashing fangs. More than once, Jason had to physically step between her and a terrified rival to prevent bloodshed. The worst incident happened when a young female, barely more than a teenager, boldly tried to touch Jason's hair. Raka tackled her in an instant, sending the girl sprawling with a warning bite to the ear. Jason had pulled Raka back, shouting, "She was just curious." Raka snarled, her fur bristling. Later that night, she curled around him tighter than ever, her claws resting lightly, but pointedly, against his ribs. Jason got the message loud and clear: mine. Not yours. Never. The breaking point came when a human search party finally arrived. Jason spotted the searchlights first, distant glimmers slicing through the jungle gloom. He leapt up, shouting in excitement, waving his arms. "Over here! I'm here!" Raka bolted upright, growling, trying to pull him back. "No, Raka! They're my people!" Jason protested, trying to pry her hand off his arm. Her golden eyes burned with something desperate and wild. She barked something urgent, shaking her head fiercely. The search party drew closer. Half a dozen soldiers in full exo-armor, weapons raised cautiously. Jason recognized Lieutenant Park at the front. "Ward!" she shouted, astonished. "We thought you were dead." Jason opened his mouth to answer, and Raka roared. In a blur, she stepped between him and the soldiers, fangs bared, arms spread wide to shield him. "Whoa, whoa!" Park called, signaling the others to lower their weapons. "Hold fire. She's protecting him." Jason pushed past Raka carefully. "Lieutenant, it's okay. She's not hostile, at least not to me." Park looked him over, noting the tattered uniform, the bite mark on his collarbone that had long since healed into a dark, tribal-looking scar. "I see," Park said slowly. "You've been adopted." "Yeah," Jason muttered. "You could say that." Park hesitated. "We can extract you right now, get you back to base. But you should know, these species bonding rituals are biologically potent. Some of the changes might be irreversible." Jason stiffened. "What do you mean?" Park grimaced. "Your DNA's already partially rewritten. Their bite carries mutagenic enzymes. It's minor, you'll still look human, but biologically you're linked permanently."